All right, welcome to Rennthusiast, my YouTube channel about Porsche ownership. And in today's video, I thought I'd give you a sense and a feel for what it is like to drive a Porsche 993 on back roads at pace. This is a video that has, surprisingly, that I've not done on my channel. I mean, where it all started with my content was on a 95 993 that I owned several years back, and I had reviewed the hell out of that car just from the standpoint of sharing my journey with it, my mod journey, my repair journey, my impressions, how much I love the car. But I never got behind the wheel and just talked to you guys about what it was like to drive. This car right now, it's we are in, let me think here, October of 2025. It's just several days before Luftgekalt in Durham, North Carolina. And as of today, I'm seeing another resurgence in values on these 993s. And so I've seen nice ones, at least asking prices around 100,000, 110,000. When I bought my first 993 in 2018, I paid 48K. So these cars are coming up, and I share all that to say that there's a lot of hype around this platform. I mean, people are chasing them. Now, in fairness, you know, a lot of the examples are getting to be higher mileage, long in the tooth. They are, you know, getting modified and so on and so forth. So, you know, there's a reason from a demand perspective why the numbers are coming up on these cars. But, you know, the real question about that is, are they worth it? Oof, stone just hit my windshield. Are they worth it? I have said this many times on my channel. If I could only have one Porsche, it would be the 993. I think it is a stupendous generation of 911. I mean, it brings forward everything that I love about air-cooled. So think about a mechanical, analog driving experience. It requires skill to make the car do what you want it to do. It's one of these cars where it's better to drive a slow car fast than a fast car slow. So when I say that, if you know, you know. And what I mean is you can feel like you're going, call it 7/10 on a 993. You can feel like you're going 7/10 on a 993, and you look down and you're really only doing like 60. Sorry, I've got guys on the walkie-talkie, and I'm going to turn that off here for now. So yeah, you'll feel like you're going all out in a 993, and you look down and you realize you're really not doing anything crazy. Whereas you look at something like a 991.2 or a 992, I mean, when you're getting in that gas hard, you look down, you're going fast enough where you can go to jail or something really bad will happen. So that's the first point I'll make about this car, is that, you know, the smiles per mile really show up in the form of being able to make the car scream, really get in the gas, really push on it. You feel like you're, you know, you are having a blast, but you're not doing anything stupid. So it looks like we're starting to get into some of the twisties here. You know, this is the second day of a rally that's happening outside of Blowing Rock, North Carolina. I'm currently following a 981 Spider. It's my friend Bob. I had one of those cars for about a year. I came on drives like this in my Spider, and that car truly is effortless. It's almost supernatural, the things that it can do. So following that car in these 993s is an interesting experience in of itself. He didn't dust us yesterday. I don't know that he was actually pushing as hard as he could. I highly doubt it, but the pace was nice. The noises this car makes, I do have a couple of modifications on the car. I think really one main one has to do with the exhaust note, which has really, you know, livened the car up, and that's the Pfister Stage 3 exhaust. I've covered Darren's stuff on my channel before. Darren Pfister, who owns FD Motorsports, really good friend of mine, great guy, and his products are very cool. So I'm running the Stage 3 on this 993. Definitely makes it louder, throatier, meaner. What I like, I won't say the most, but what I really do like about the Stage 3 on this car is it's the pops and cracks on decel. So, you know, you're downshifting into a curve like this one, and the car pops and crackles. So that's fun. I mean, for me, I want my 993 to be rowdy. I know there are plenty of stock people out there, and those stock examples are the ones I think that are going for the big bucks. Speaking of going for big bucks, mileage obviously matters. You know, people really want the low mileage examples of the 993s. I just turned 70,000 on this example, and man, like that kind of messes with me a little bit. So I'm a driver. I put a lot of miles on my cars. So, you know, the mileage in and of itself doesn't bother me. I think these guys are meant to be driven. However, you know, when you turn over 70,000 on a 993, it just pains you a little bit, only because, you know, these lower mileage examples are fewer and fewer further between. So as the mileage ticks up, value drops down, but like I would never sell this car, so I don't really care. Something else relative to mileage though is, again, it has to do with the values. I'll say this, what I'm getting ready to share with you centers more on values. You know, my problem with the appreciation on these 993s is that, you know, at 48,000, this is all dependent upon your, what I'll call your like personal economy. But, you know, for me, $48,000 is a lot of money, which is what I paid for my first 993. It's a lot of money, but I don't mind putting that at risk on roads like this. So God forbid anything were ever to happen. You know, 48K is a lot different than 110. This is the problem with some of these roads, you know, although we got to pass it. Oh shit. So you're going 72 and it feels like a ton of drama. So back to what I was saying, you know, at the end of the day, when you're talking $110,000, for me, it just gives me pause for thought on putting the car at too much of a risk. So as I'm pushing through these curves, probably the wrong gear, I'm also noticing the KWV3 suspension I'm running on this car. When I first went on a rally it was my first 993, I was running stock suspension and the car had tons of body roll. So I knew that coilovers were like going to be essential after spending 2 days ripping that car. On that particular car, I did Bilstein PSS 10s. I loved that setup. It was always a little too stiff for me. Of course, in fairness, I never did a lot of experimentation on adjusting the dampers. On this car, I'm running KWV3s. Honestly, it still needs to be dialed a little bit. So not only the suspension, but also the alignment is not what I want. And if I'm honest, it's actually fighting me a little bit. But that said, you know, with these V3s, I mean, the confidence, you know, just how planted the car is, it stays flat. I mean, not to mention, it looks cool as hell. So that's a big one, is the suspension. If you're gonna get into a 993, plan on doing the suspension. If you own a 993 with stock suspension, I'd strongly recommend looking into some sort of a coilover option. I know there are other options out there besides KWV3 and the Bilsteins. Road's getting a little damp. Don't love that. I get a little skittish on wet roads. I do have good tires. I run PS4S's on this car. I have never had a mishap, knock on wood. In other words, I've never really lost traction, but these cars are so capable. It's been a while since I've listened to somebody talk to me about how the rear suspension setup on the 993 was a game changer for the 911 compared to the previous generations. But for me, it's just never, there's a lot more confidence, and I think there's a lot less of the whole like kind of don't lift mid-curve conversation. Sorry, I'm having to concentrate a little bit here. So in other words, the back end stays planted. And again, I want to be careful here. I don't want to jinx myself because, I mean, God forbid something happens. I guess if you're still watching the video, you might find that relatively entertaining, as long as it was nothing catastrophic. You know, sitting in this cabin is a very familiar place for me. I have, if you've watched my previous videos, you know that I've been in and out of a lot of 911s, especially air-cooled, and I'm very familiar with it, what it's like to be inside these cars, these older cars. I love the simplicity of it. I mean, some might say it's dated, and I think so. I mean, for sure, if you're looking for tech and ergonomics and so forth, that ain't this experience. You're only getting what you need. Some guys will swap steering wheels. I'm running the 4-spoke stock. I have done the 3-spoke from the 996. That's a direct bolt-on replacement. But you know, with this particular example, this car, which I could talk about for days in terms of how I arrived at this car and why I bought this specific example, I won't get into all that, but I wanted to leave the interior period correct, so I didn't want to fiddle around with the steering wheel. It does feel a little bit large, but like, that's part of the charm, you know. The shifter setup on this car, I'm running Darren Pfister's short shift kit, another fun mod. It also has what's called the golden rod. It cleans up the throws. I mean, that's really seen as a go-to non-negotiable 993 modification. I have a wave track differential solution, and so basically that acts like a limited slip. With the amount of power that the 993 delivers, at least for my use, I've not had a lot of cause for that to actually engage too much. Like, I don't know how helpful it's been. God, these roads are so good. My buddy behind me is super fast, and I hate it because he puts pressure on me. So at any rate, the wave track, you know, it has shown up a few times for me, you know, giving me an added level of confidence. It will for sure help you pull off, you know, let's say it's at a T stop sign where you're taking left or right, you get in that first gear, gas, like the back end of the car stays planted, both wheels are turning, it really shows up for you. I think aesthetically the 993 is one of the most beautiful 911s. Some people will say it looks like front to back that you bolted two cars together. I think if you look closely enough, maybe you can see that, and you can't unsee it. But I don't know, I think they're gorgeous from almost every angle. It's just an amazing design. What I'm getting ready to share is true for all 911s. I won't say all, I'm sorry. Many of the air-cooled cars. Like, once you get it sorted, like, they're basically bulletproof. I spent, and this motor in this car is healthy, and the way I know it's healthy, it has to do with the oil consumption. It consumes very little oil compared to what Porsche says is the tolerance. But at any rate, once you get them sorted, they're very strong. This car yesterday, man, I mean, I spent a lot of time in second gear sustained at like 5,000 to 6,000 RPM. It was just what was called for by the roads. And I don't know, I could just start it up this morning with no drama. So if you're looking into one of these cars, just be prepared to spend some money. I would say get a compression and leak down test. Ooh, rocks, dirt. But you know, if it's a well cared for example, relatively, you know, let's say less than 120,000 miles, I don't know, I kind of made that up, you're probably not going to be in trouble. Something else I will share about this example, I PPF'd the entire car. I love driving it like this, and I hate having to, I hate having to worry about paint. And this was the first vintage 911 that I went ahead and PPF'd the whole car. But it has been freeing, I'm going to tell you that right now. I think, and this is just an aside, I don't believe that 993s wear patina. very well. When I say that, what I mean is stone chips. For some reason, it just doesn't suit the car. You start getting into the older cars, the G-bodies, it's almost expected that that there are stone chips. You know, it's a well-loved, well-used example. It should have, you know, some markings up front. But I don't think the 993 is wearing very well, and so that was part of the reason I PPF'd it. Also, PPF is such a wonderful convenience from a washing perspective. You know, you don't have to worry about those micro etchings. And I should say that part of the reason I put the PPF on this car is it's all original paint. I mean, guys, there are very few joys, at least for me, and if you're a car guy, you'll know what I mean. Very few joys that are as good as as this type of day. And yes, it's gray out, yes, it's damp out, but working the machine, getting the car to do what you want it to do, what it should do, I mean, it's an art. And I am by no means saying that I'm an artist, but my God, is it fun and engaging. My suspension setup is arguably a little bit too low, so I will get bump steer on this car. I think I'm gonna have to adjust it. That and the daggum alignment for sure. Gorgeous time of year here in North Carolina. You can see the, shoot, missed the shift opportunity there. Leaves are starting to turn at the higher elevation. You just can't beat it. Yeah, see, I'm tracking straight and that steering wheel's cocked a little bit to the right. That does piss me off. I mean, that's always something that, you know, like, come on, guys. Take some pride in your work. Audio solution in this particular example, I love it. Previous owner put in a very nice Blaupunkt head unit. It looks period correct. It's pretty awesome. You can stream to it. Put in a subwoofer though too, which is pretty funny. So you can, you know, you can bump your sub while you're rolling in your 1995 993. So now we're getting on the Blue Ridge Parkway. If you're on the East Coast and you're a car person, I would strongly recommend you come out here and check this out. You do need to be careful on the Parkway. It's pretty heavily patrolled. They're serious about their 45 mile an hour speed limit. So there you have it, guys. You know, I hope this has been relatively entertaining. I feel like I've touched on a lot, so I think I'll end it here. But if you have any questions or comments, this 993, the 993 platform is a passion of mine. It was the hot car when I was in high school. When I bought my first one, I had to pinch myself. I couldn't believe the dream had become reality. And so, you know, always happy to have conversations about the 993. I do offer a consulting service, $250 an hour. We can get on a Zoom call, excuse me, and if you're looking at a particular example, or you're grappling with whether or not to buy one of these, you know, I could kind of be your thought partner there. If you haven't already subscribed to my channel, please do. And I hope to see you next time.